Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Craptastic Conventions. I'm your host, the guy where you are just waiting for the day that he tells you to not come to school tomorrow. And today we're going to be looking at the Barbie Dream Fest disaster. Alright, so down in the state of Florida, the most normal state in America, in the city of Fort Lauderdale, there exists a convention center called the Broward County Convention Center. And it was in this exact building that we would see the Barbie Dream Fest event, which touted to be the ultimate Barbie fan event. By the way, if any of y'all are playing a drinking game that involves taking a shot every time I say the word event, my condolences to your liver. So anyways, what is this Barbie fan event here? So let's just read the about section here so we would know what would be in store of us if we were to buy tickets. Join fans from around the world as they explore interactive experiences, attend unique programming, see star-studded panels, and browse a perfectly pink marketplace teeming with Barbie and officially licensed Barbie products, fanworks, and more. And to get into specifics, they actually have this poster up on their homepage here, and yeah, they're not lying about the star-studded panels. They're advertising Serena Williams, Angel Reese, Marlee Matlin, the voice actors for Barbie Life in the Dream House, and a bunch of other people, some of whom have worked on Barbie products and others who are inspirational women from all sorts of different professions. So that is a pretty interesting lineup, but what are we going to do when we're not at panels? So this poster says we're going to see Barbie the movie in concert, an interactive dream house, an Impala roller rink, a Dynacraft bike course, a Totally Hair, glam bar, photo ops, doll exhibitors, exclusive merch, a Beyond of the Stars exhibit, and Limitless Possibilities dream wall. I'm gonna be real, I have no idea what those last two things are, but they sound cool. So when I was researching this and I visited their website and saw this poster, I was immediately expecting people to be disappointed because that roller rink right there. So when people think of roller rinks, they're imagining like the old school ones that are entire buildings dedicated to roller skating, and then there's like a disco ball going with music in the background. And even here on the website, they have a little thing that scrolls left to right, and here it says 80s disco roller rink. Lace up and glide under neon lights at a retro-inspired roller rink. But I saw this and I was like, there's no way they're going to build this elaborate set piece that's going to be used for like 3 days and then they're just going to tear it down immediately. And they were going to have that with a bike course. At least with the bike course, you could just draw a track on the ground with chalk or tape or whatever and put some cones up. With the skating rink, they're making it sound like they're going to hire a Stranger Things set designer or something. And if we just back up here, I would absolutely love to know what this interactive dream house was supposed to be. I've tried looking on the site and I didn't find any information on it. I have no idea what they were planning for this particular thing. Were they going to have a set where it would be like you were in the dream house and you could move stuff around and do stuff? Or is it going to be like a Twitch stream where you could donate money and then there would be a camera that you could watch of this little dream house that they had in a back room somewhere, and then stuff would happen on it? Actually, hold on. On that little scrolling thing on the page, it says Dream House Photo Op. Explore a larger-than-life version of Barbie's iconic front yard. So maybe that's what they were referring to, but that doesn't scream interactive to me. And I'm still only on the second part of the poster. I gotta move on. So this third one, they have inspiring panels, which we already covered. Ultimate Barbie fashion show, hands-on crafts, Michael's Party Zone, and Dream Flow Yoga. So for the Barbie fashion show, it says on this scroll thing, showcase your best Barbie-inspired looks on our high-energy runway. So you could probably take some pretty cool pictures on that thing. However, I do have questions about this Dream Flow Yoga. So I've done some yoga in my day. It was pretty cool. I enjoyed it. However, I don't see myself flying to a convention to do yoga with people of a similar interest. Like, even if I lived in the Fort Lauderdale area and they were hosting the, Canada Dry Tai Chi class, where you could harness your chi with other ginger ale enthusiasts, I feel like I still wouldn't join this. I would just do Tai Chi with whatever crew I've already assimilated into, or just do it at home. But I may very well be in the minority here, and this could have been a very popular event at this convention. So anyways, that's the extent of this poster, but of course, they have advertised their event in other ways, including a TikTok account that I'm pretty sure is deleted. That's always a good sign. But thankfully, people have screenshotted the stuff, so I'm going to use the ones taken by this user, as told by Lasso on Twitter, as well as these from user Consideration Fund 7511 on Reddit. And let's check out these pics right here. Look at this thing. We got a bunch of pink, all this Barbie art on the walls. You got these floaties everywhere. You got this thing on the ground that looks like water, like you're at a pool. Pretty cool looking set, I think. We have another image of this pink car. Where is this thing at? I want to know. I'm digging this thing. And wouldn't you know it, we actually have pictures of the supposed roller rink. Now, while I still think this doesn't look like the old school roller rinks it was supposed to harken back to, it's got a vibe to it, you know. There are no neon lights like it said, but it's got boot boxes on the walls. You know, I think if we saw this at the event, it wouldn't be what they advertised, but it would be cromulent enough to enjoy. However, I would like to draw your attention to the website again because on the website it says this is the first ever Barbie Dream Fest, which begs the question, how do we have footage of this event if this is the first ever time it's being held? Is this like stock footage or something? Maybe they tried to get really devious and they took footage from other events for their own advertisements? But anyways, people saw all this stuff and were like, you know what? Sign me up for this. Let's go. So people made their way on down to the Sunshine State, reached the convention center, opened up the doors, and saw a mostly barren gray area with various splashes of pink. Now, it was at this moment a lot of people started comparing this to the Wonka experience in Glasgow, and I can see why. the warehouse with the various random bits of color. Granted, this isn't a warehouse, this is an actual convention center, but it still has that brutalist vibe contrasting with the color. And I guess the whimsy of whatever IP they were using for their respective events. There's something poetic about it. So people have expressed this next sentiment online, and I'm inclined to agree that one of the things that really shot the convention people in the foot is how big this convention center is, the amount of time it would take, and the amount of things it would take to make this whole place Barbie themed. I feel like it'd just be unfeasible for them. I'm going to assume because the Barbie movie came out not that long ago, they were expecting absolutely monstrous turnout, and that didn't quite work out for them. So yeah, already the decor that was promised in those TikToks, we're not getting any of that. So that's 1 point against this event. Now, before we go any further tearing into this event, I want to talk about some positives because believe it or not, this event, in my opinion, was not a total disaster. This actually turned out much better than some of the other disaster events that we've seen in the past. So people said the employees were nice, that was pretty good, and shockingly, this blew my mind. Most of the celebrities that were promised to show up actually did show up. I think there was one person that couldn't make it due to medical reasons, but yeah, they managed to actually snag some celebrity guests. You could even find videos of Serena doing the panel. That's better than like every single event that I've seen so far that turned sour. I think the only one that actually also managed to get the celebrity guest was TanaCon of all things. There also were in fact vendors that you could buy stuff from, albeit that one comes with a little caveat. We'll get to that one later. There was in fact a glam bar, and most importantly, there was in fact yoga. So at this point, I feel like we're already doing a bit better than a bunch of the other disasters that we've seen. You know, there was nobody stranded on an island in a national emergency. There was nobody getting heat stroke in a parking lot. There was no ball pit that allegedly someone took a leak in. Granted, I am recording this during the last day of the event, so there is still time. But as of right now, things could be a whole lot worse. However, they could be a whole lot better. Now, before I run you through all the broken promises of this event, I want to run you through these ticket prices here. So for the single day pass for kids, it was $30 and adults it was $69. However, you could pay extra to get things that were not included on the single day pass. You got the general pass for all 3 days. For kids it was $75 and adults it was $149. You got the pink pass, which is $249, which includes everything in the general pass plus all of this stuff. There is the family pack, which is $425, and at the very top, the most expensive is the dream pass, which is $449. So let's run through the poster again and see what was at the event that was worth $449. So the Barbie the movie and concert, I have no confirmation of that happening at all. The interactive dream house, once again, no idea if that was at the event at all. The roller rink that they hyped up in those TikToks. Now, they actually did have a roller rink at the event, and there you go. This is what it looked like. Now, it might just be me, but I don't think that looks like what we saw in those TikToks. I don't even see a single neon light in this image. They said this was supposed to be retro inspired. Where? There's not even a disco ball in the middle. Was there even music? Could they not even get those electronic disco balls and stick them on the sides of the barricades? You know, at least like one or two? What the heck happened? Like, I wasn't expecting much, but man, did they blow all the money on the venue and celebrity guests? Alright, so that was a buzz. But let's go to the bike course. Let's see what that looks like, and it's just about what I expected, honestly. Admittedly, the course is not drawn on the ground. They are hung up between these cones and designated with these party flags, and also these big old pink arches. You know, again, I feel like this bike course would be a whole lot better if most of the surrounding surrounding area wasn't just solid freaking gray. This just looks sad, man. It's like these kids were stuck in a tornado shelter for whatever reason, and the adults felt bad for them because they were so bored, so they tried to give the kids something fun to do with whatever they had. The glam bar they actually had, but the photo ops. So the website had a little thing that said, take a picture in front of Barbie's iconic front yard. So I'm just gonna look up a vid of Barbie's dream house playset, so you can see this is what the house looks like in the actual toy. And so the photo op that we had here looks absolutely nothing like the aforementioned dream house. What is going on? I love the windows. They're just blue and white gradients. And can we just look at the things that are supposed to look like, I guess, lights that are hanging? They don't connect to the roof, especially the one on the right. That light is just straight up hovering in midair. What did they draw this thing in? PowerPoint? I will say, right next to this house is this pink, I guess, Volkswagen van. So we didn't get that pink car that we saw earlier, but we did get some sort of pink vehicle, which is way more than I was anticipating. Alright, doll exhibitors. I have no confirmation on such a thing unless you were talking about people that were selling dolls. Exclusive merch. So, so you actually, for the 2 higher priced tickets, you are actually supposed to get a quote-unquote swag bag. Now, when I hear I'm getting a bag of swag, I'm thinking, oh, the swag comes preloaded in said bag. And that was very much not the case for this event, because the lower ticket, you would get a singular piece of swag in your bag, and it was a hand sanitizer in a pink bottle. Which, you know what, might actually be a decent gift, because I feel like I would need some way to feel clean after being done dirty after paying for this event. Oh yeah, and the dream package, you would also get a hairbrush in your bag, so, you know, I think that's worth the 449 bucks. Honestly, I'm surprised there was anything in those bags at all, because if you go on their website, on the ticket pages, you could click on the things to get details about what the tickets would get you, and then when you clicked on the swag bag text, it would say, for all of your amazing marketplace purchases. So it sounded less like a goodie bag and more just a bag to put whatever you picked up at the event in. Oh yeah, speaking of the marketplace, so there were actually vendors, however, according to a Redditor, there were only about 10 vendors, and like only 4 of them were selling Barbie related stuff, which again is a far cry from what we saw in the TikTok post. I didn't show this screenshot yet, but on their TikTok account they posted this, which I guess was supposed to show how many different like booths you could go to buy stuff. At least that's my best hypothesis as to why this is on their TikTok. I can't tell, because on one hand you have people dining in, I guess, a break room or something on the bottom right, but then you have people selling drinks in the middle, and then on the bottom left looks like they're selling like Game Boys or something. What is happening in this image? It says in the bottom, the TikTok thing, Barbie Dream Fest. Am I getting punked? Is this not the official account? Are they promoting a con, or are they trying to like show off their new Vaporwave album cover? Alright, anyways, Beyond the Stars and Limitless Possibilities, still have no idea what those things are or where they were supposed to be. Events, activities, inspiring panels, they actually had that. Yoga, they had that. The fashion show, no confirmation if they had to have a runway of any sort there. And the hands-on crafts and the Michael's Party Zone, I think they actually did have those. So, yeah, I guess. And that's about a wrap for this entire Barbie Dream Fest thing. So, my overall rating for this event was no injuries, thankfully, but still pretty dang disappointing. I feel bad for the people that just wanted to have fun at the event, man. Like, they booked hotel rooms, drove or flew out of state for this fiasco. My heart goes out to y'all. Now, if you are curious at all, the company that put this on is called Mischief Management, and they did actually partner with Mattel, or at the very least, they officially licensed the Barbie stuff from Mattel, and Mattel knew that this was going to happen. I guess Mattel was like, y'all know what you're doing, and they very much didn't. So if you see another convention or whatever pop up, and then you see it's being put on by Mischief Management, remember, they put on this catastrophe. So yeah, buyer beware. Also, phone microphone jump scare coming in to say, I forgot to mention that on those tickets for the 2 highest priced ones, you would actually get access to the pre-sale for next year's Barbie Dream Fest. So if you bought either of those, good news, you get to pre-order your tickets for next year's. Alright, I'm out. See ya, nerds.